So I feel like there's a lot of people who have been placed into my life lately who have been saying pretty much the same thing. They're not happy with their situation, but they're not quite sure what to do about it. And so I feel like a lot of people who watch my videos probably feel the same thing. So I think I want to give out a few action steps that can be taken to try to figure out what it is you like and don't like, and some possible steps you can take towards starting something new. So number one, you have to identify your pain points. What are some things that you feel are holding you back? What are some things that you feel like are sabotaging you? I want you to make a list, and then next to each item, write in detail why you think this thing is holding you back. So for example, if you're somebody who's trying to lose weight, but you feel like your eating habits are something that's holding you back, I want you to write down your eating habits and write down what it is about your eating habits that is holding you back. Like, is it that you feel like you can't stop eating certain things? Is it that you feel like you don't know the proper things that you should be eating to get you where you need to be? Whatever it is, just write down the issue and why you think you're having that issue. And it doesn't matter how many things are on the list, just make a list until you can't think of anything else. And if you think of something else, just go back to your list and add it to the list. Now, after you make this list, I want you to start a separate list with the same items listed, and then write down solutions to every problem that you listed. So if you feel like your eating habits are something that's holding you back, maybe on the second list, write down your eating habits. And then one possible action step you could take towards improving your eating habits. Let's say you're somebody like me who is addicted to sweets. Maybe try going one day out of the week, cutting sweets out. Like if you're somebody who eats sweets every day, go start with one day a week, no sweets, and then progress from there. As you're writing your action steps, try to make them manageable. Like, don't start off telling yourself, oh, well, I'm just going to cut out sweets for an entire week. That's very ambitious, but what are the odds you're actually going to stick to that? Start out small and then work your way up as you get used to it. You have to make gradual adjustments. You can't expect things to just change overnight. And make sure you're giving yourself a decent amount of time to achieve these goals. Do not give yourself a small period of time to make the adjustments and then be upset when the adjustments aren't made. You have to realize that you're undoing possibly years worth of bad habits, and that's not going to happen overnight. It took years for you to build up these bad habits. It's probably going to take years for you to undo them. And that's something that you just have to accept. Everything is not going to happen overnight. Another action step that I think is important on your journey towards whatever, stop complaining. I know from personal experience, it is so easy to just complain about the things and the people happening around you. But you have to realize that constantly complaining is not going to fix your situation. If anything, it's making it worse because it's keeping you in that negative mind state. It's keeping you in that negative mind state, and you're not able to see the good things that are around you. You're not able to make space for good things to find you because you're always complaining. You're always putting negativity out in the world. If you're always putting negativity out, that's what you're going to get back in. So yeah, like, I understand you hate your job. I hate my job too. But sitting around complaining every single day about it is not going to change anything. It's just going to make you feel worse. You know you hate your job. Why do you feel like you need to say that every single day? That doesn't have to be a thought you have every single day. You have to stop complaining about it. The fact of the matter is, this is what you have right now, whether you like it or not. So you might as well stop complaining. Like, you have to do this for the time being. What are you going to do to not have to do that anymore? If there is one thing I hate, is when people come up to me and complain about the same things all the time. Why are you complaining about the same thing all the time? If you haven't noticed from the last time you were complaining about this thing, nothing changed. So why do you feel like complaining again is going to solve the problem? It's not. You're just continually complaining and nothing is getting done. So unless you're going to figure out how to change the situation, stop complaining about it. It's really helpful when you're in situations that you don't want to be in to try to look for the positive. For example, when I'm at work and things are terrible, I have to remind myself, at least I'm employed. There are people out here who are unemployed. Like, they're trying to get any type of employment and they just can't get hired. At least I have a job, you know? This kind of goes hand in hand with minimizing your complaining, and it can also be another action step. Learn how to express gratitude. I know it's hard sometimes when you're in the moment and things aren't going the way you want them to look at the positivity in the situation and try to find things to be grateful for. But you have to be grateful for the things that you do have. You can't only focus on what you want or what you don't have, what somebody else has that you want. You have to be grateful for what's yours, because somebody else would love to have what you have. There's always somebody who has it worse. You have to be grateful for what you have in the moment and realize that it can be gone at any second. And like I said, I realize that's not always easy to do, but that's why you learn to do it gradually, and eventually it'll just become something that's normal for you. Like, something simple I do is every single time I open my eyes, I express gratitude because somebody didn't get the chance to open their eyes. And once you start to think about it that way, you realize that you always have something to be grateful for. Somebody, well, I mean, I guess they wouldn't be wishing they had the chance to open their eyes again, but like, somebody went to sleep and they did not get the chance to open their eyes again, and they had no idea that was going to happen. Every time you open your eyes, you should be grateful. If you're not grateful for anything else, be grateful for that, because that means that you get another chance to get it right. You have another chance to learn. You have another chance to grow. Somebody will never have that again. So just be grateful for that, if nothing else. So those are really just 3 quick things. Identify your pain points, stop complaining, and learn how to express gratitude. There's so many other things that you can do to change your perspective and take action, but those are just 3 quick things that can be implemented, I feel like, pretty easily. You really have to realize, and I feel like I say this a lot, but we are really the architects of our reality. Anything we want in this life, we have the power to make it happen if we take the right action steps. There's literally nothing stopping you from figuring out a way to make it work. Try to think of your life as like a ball of clay. You can mold it into anything you want to with the right manipulation. If you manipulate it in the wrong way, it's going to come out as like some crazy looking thing. But if you manipulate it correctly, you can make different shapes and different figures and things like that. You can make a letter. You can make pretty much anything with a ball of clay. But if you just mush it up into a bunch of nothing, then you're not going to get anything worthwhile. But if you take the time to properly craft it, you can make it into any image that you want. Same thing happens with your life. If you hang out with crash outs all the time, eventually you're going to crash out. If you're hanging out with people who have some ambition, who are looking to make some changes in their life, then you really won't have a choice but to elevate yourself and to make some changes in your life too, unless you want to just go make some new friends. If you hang out with people who only eat fast food and drink alcohol every day after work, then you're going to end up eating fast food and drinking alcohol every single day after work. And what do you think that's going to do for your body? If you listen to depressing music all the time, I don't know, I'm not going to say that you're going to develop depression, but you're definitely going to have a lot sadder thoughts if all you're listening to is depressing music. If you're listening to music that is uplifting and telling you to live your best life and things like that, then you're going to start to think more positively. The list can go on and on. But the point is, you have to take proper action to get the results you want. It's not just going to happen for you. And if you're somebody who feels like you don't know how to take the proper action, you don't know what to do, ask for help. Don't just sit and not do anything because you feel like you can't figure it out. That's a part of taking action, being proactive. Ask somebody for help. If you see somebody who's doing what you want to do or whatever, somebody's inspirational to you, reach out to them, ask them for help. Don't just sit and not take action because you don't know what to do. Not taking action is also an action. It's up to you to make sure you're taking the right actions every day. Don't sleep on yourself. So like I always say, I believe in you. I believe you can do anything you put your mind to, but you need to believe in yourself, because me being some stranger on the internet believing in you really doesn't mean anything if you're not going to take the proper action. So believe in yourself and make sure you're taking the proper actions.